Peter Buswell for Dr. VoIP, your source for remote technical support. This quick video is just going to share with you our first look at ShoreTel Connect, or ShoreTel 15. The marketing folks at ShoreTel are calling it ShoreTel Connect. It's probably version 1 of Connect, but it is build 21, so it's actually derived from the history of code, and I look at it as version 15. Migration notes. You can upgrade. I would wait until it's out of controlled release, because that would be the .0 if you follow the ShoreTel development software roadmap. If you do upgrade, however, there is a direct upgrade path if you're going from version 13 or 14, ECC version 8 or 9, Mobility 7. There is no rollback, so be aware and plan accordingly. You will need to get rid of your 32-bit servers. So we have 2008, 2012 supported servers for the OS 64 bits. If you migrate from your 32-bit world, remember that you'll have to change your U-boot. VMware 5.1, Hyper-V 6.3. I am certain, although I should get this verified, that the ShoreTel image files, the OVAs that were introduced in version 14, still require ESXi as the host. I don't believe they run under Hyper-V. Browser support. Those of you who have always wanted to use Firefox to do system administration, ShoreTel Director can now be accessed with Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, in addition to IE10. Your client machines, Windows 7 and 8. I don't know about Windows 10 yet. And Mac OS 9 or 10. Office 2010 and 2013, 32 and 64 bits is supported, and on Macintosh that would be Office 2011. There is a new family of switches. That's pretty exciting stuff. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. There is a new client. It's not a browser client, but it has a browser-like look and feel. And something I'm particularly excited about is this Linux-based distributed voicemail. So, trying to reduce the cost and dependency on Microsoft going forward is a smart move in my book. And having a Linux-based OVA file to launch a distributed voicemail server is very exciting. There is changes. When you make a change of this magnitude, there are a variety of changes with respect to historical support. So some of the older ShoreTel communicator for Windows, Mac, or web, the mobile communicator, web conferencing, all of these things are either eliminated or changing. ShoreTel messaging on the Mac is no longer supported. I think that in large part had to do with Apple dropping iChat. Clearly there's going to be some impact to third-party applications, the details of which, as we discover that, will make it available to you. But there's no support for link server, no support for the CSTA, by the way, link server 2010, and so on down the list. Those are some of the issues that you need to research if you're going to migrate. You'll need to review the build notes and the software release notes. So at this point, we're going to take a look at a ShoreTel director. We're going to actually log into the new director. What you see on the screen is the older layout. I just wanted to focus on this for a minute, so when you see the new one, you'll go ooh la la. So stand by and we'll bring up a browser to the new ShoreTel Connect system. So let's take a look at the ShoreTel Connect director interface. First thing you should note is I am using Firefox. So that's use. When you first log in, obviously we're working on a demo system. When you first log in, you're going to be confronted with a screen that looks very similar, almost identical to the version 14 diagnostic console that was introduced in that version. It's a interface that enables you to have a top-down view of the system. I've noticed that Quick Look appears to be gone, and I guess Quick Look at this point has been replaced by these buttons up here at the top of the screen where you can see the status of key indicators in the system. On the right side of the screen, you'll do your refresh and update of the dynamic components in this view. On the left side, you'll see these icons here. There's system administration, there's an icon for system, for reporting, for documentation, for maintenance, and for diagnostics. If you click on the administration icon, you're going to find everything that you are used to seeing in ShoreTel. It's there. It's organized a little differently. The links are laid out a little differently. But other than that, as near as I can figure, everything that I would expect to see when deploying a fresh install, configuring a ShoreTel, it's all present. So if you click on users, for example, go to the user interface, you will see that it looks remarkably similar to the ECC interface. So if you used ShoreTel's Contact Center Director in the past, this will look very, very similar to that experience. So I've gone ahead and configured a few users here. Here's Gandalf de Grey, one of my favorite characters, and you can see that we have a number of different tabs. The general tab where you would create your user. You can scroll down, there's a little bit more information there. You can see extension types, everything that you are already accustomed to finding in a ShoreTel deployment is there. You have another tab for telephony, where you'll set your call stack size, indicate fax support, ring down. Again, exactly what you would find in previous versions, just laid out a little different. Voicemail tab, routing tab, membership, the different voicemail distribution lists you might be a member of, DID association, applications like the conference bridge and instant messaging. So it is very compatible. Nothing, it's laid out differently, it looks a little different. Actually, it's a bit fresher, and it's beginning to integrate the single pane of glass approach that ShoreTel has been striving to accomplish. It looks to me like they're getting there real quick. You've got your trunks, your trunk groups. Again, nothing new here. Basically the same thing that you would expect to see in the previous versions. So if I go back here, you'll see telephony interfaces. You'll see appliances. I guess maybe the only new feature was, of course, if you go down here where you set up your sites and dial plans, you'll see hybrid and system information for the hybrid. Now, again, understand that this Connect philosophy is that you can deploy the product on a customer premise just the way you traditionally deployed ShoreTel. You can deploy it fully in the cloud, or you can deploy it in a hybrid mode. So I've got some folks that are on customer premise deployment, and maybe we just had to add a new branch office and we need to bring them up pretty quick. We brought them up in the cloud, and it's all under this management interface. So again, the administrative panel, you've got your system panel. There's some new security options here, for example, certificate signing requests and things of that ilk. You have reporting. Reporting hasn't changed much. You've got the ability to go in and set up where you want your CDR records delivered and how. And documentation. ShoreTel has always done an excellent job in making sure that when you got your software package, you got all the necessary documentation. They've always done a good job in that area. I think it's a little better now because when you click, for example, on any of these usual guides here, like the administration guide, what you're going to find is rather than taking you to a frozen PDF file on the headquarters server, it's going to link you back to the mothership. So it'll take you right to the ShoreTel website for that information. You've got your maintenance, setting up your alerts and status information. You've got the ability to set up monitoring services, do your firmware updates. The dashboard itself is in fact a diagnostic console that you would have already become familiar with if you work with version 14. And last, you've got the remote packet capture for diagnostics. I have found this to be probably the single most useful troubleshooting tool when working with ShoreTel. It's if you've done Wireshark captures and you know the challenges of trying to get on the device that you need to run the capture on, ShoreTel actually enables remote capture for you in a way that's very efficient. Just go ahead and install Wireshark here because it's going to be a Wireshark capture. So I hope you have found this informative. Taking a quick look at the new ShoreTel Connect client. You'll download this from the headquarters server, just like previous releases. If you're migrating, you'll need to uninstall the previous client, download and install this guy. I've noticed that there's a security function now. If you mess up this login, you'll get locked out of the system. You'll have to go in and reset the account. This is what it looks like. It has kind of like a browser feel to it. When you first pop it open, you've got your own account. It's kind of like the system directory, recent activities, what used to be called history, and the ability to, point, click, and dial. Events enables you to create new events. As it relates to the conferencing feature, you will not only create the event, but I've noticed very interesting that you can set an agenda, and the agenda will unwind as you are in the conference. So that's pretty cool. Probably have to do a separate video just on that. I just wanted to give you a quick review of the headlines here. You can go ahead and edit. Sign in with LinkedIn to get a picture up here. Not sure I understand the value of that, but if you go to preferences, you now have the ability to change your login credentials, set up your Active Directory credentials, etc. If you go, used to right-click on the orange Superman sign in your older client and get to options, and this is basically the same thing. You've got your list of options here. What I did find that was intriguing is the ability to have a wizard walk you through the startup. So if you go to Start Wizard, it'll ask you to fill in the form, and this sometimes was a bit challenging for folks to understand the various features, the simultaneous ring, the find me, follow me features, but you just walk through it now with a wizard. Set your incoming call to ring your extension, also simultaneously ring some other phone or phones. is set up how you want call forwarding to work if you don't answer. And again, this is not terribly different. It's just laid out differently. Set up your Find Me options, and go ahead and record your greetings for each of your call handling modes. Again, this is traditionally a feature of ShoreTel. It's just laid out here a little bit different than previous versions. And again, we're walking through the wizard, so you have the ability to say callers can't leave a voicemail, and of course your personal operator the ability to allow a caller to send 0 and get transferred someplace. So there's also power routing capability built in, which is really cool. So I can set up, I can give this a rule name, and I can set up call handling based on things like if the calling number is internal, external, if it matches a particular number, if my wife's lawyer is calling, do this, that, or the next thing. So you set up some, and if it's and I'm in the out of office mode, or I'm on the phone, and the time is this between this and this on Tuesdays. Transfer them to dial a prayer. So there's a lot of capabilities under power routing. Your voicemail settings, where you'll go for playback and setup and Outlook integration, your instant messaging interface video if you're enabled for that in the director, Outlook, and syncing your Outlook calendar with your availability modes, notification, desktops, soft phone if you're enabled for that, and telephony features. There is not, aside from the power call routing features here, I didn't see a whole lot of changes. I mean, anybody who has been using ShoreTel will be very, very comfortable with this interface. Again, like the director, everything that you would be familiar with is available to you. It's just laid out a little bit differently. So this is just a quick look. We'll expand on this as we get more experience with it, and we'll update you in a future video. So I hope you found this informative, and I thank you for viewing.